In the glimmering light of the city's elite, Sokima stands, the center of it all, beautiful, untouchable, adored. The world is at her feet. But tonight, something feels different. A strange weight settles around her neck, heavier than the diamonds and gold she wears. The necklace, once a symbol of her rise to power, now tightens, suffocating her. The laughter of the crowd echoes in her ears, but it's hollow. The flashing lights blur, and Sokima's smile falters, replaced by a growing sense of unease. What should be the happiest moment of her life feels like the beginning of something darker. In the quiet aftermath, Sokima sits alone in her penthouse, the necklace lying before her. Once a crown of ambition, now a reminder of everything she's lost. Her empire, her fame, her very identity, all slipping through her fingers. She picks it up, but the sparkle has faded. It's just a thing. A lifeless object. For the first time, she sees it for what it truly is, a reflection of her greed, her insecurities, the void she tried to fill with perfection. The necklace, once her greatest possession, is now just another chain weighing her down. She places it on the table, ready to let go of her past self. But can she truly break free? But she doesn't have to walk this path alone. A soft knock at the door, and Chloe steps in, her best friend, her anchor. In the midst of Sokima's chaos, Chloe offers a lifeline. "You don't have to do this alone," she says, her hand reaching out. Sokima's heart aches with the weight of everything she's lost, but Chloe's words spark something deep inside her. A flicker of hope. For the first time, Sokima feels the weight lift, just a little. She's not alone. And maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of finding herself again. It's not about what you do. It's about how you look when you do it. Sokima was the city's dream, wealth, beauty, and power, all wrapped in one flawless package. Every event she graced, every Instagram post she made, seemed to be an instant success. With curves that screamed luxury and a wardrobe full of Balenciaga, Louis Vuitton, and Chanel, Sokima had it all. Her long, wavy hair cascaded down her back like a dark river, framing her caramel skin. Her BBL was the envy of every woman in the city, and men couldn't help but stare. She didn't just live in the world of the elite, she owned it. But there was one thing she didn't have: contentment. At a secret shop in the alleys of the city, an old man handed her a necklace, a stunning piece made of gold and diamonds, a perfect addition to her collection. The man, with a warning in his eyes, said, "Whoever wears this will know riches, but it will take something away. You must never desire more than what you can carry." But Sokima, unstoppable and confident, brushed off his words as superstition. What could a necklace do when she had everything she wanted? Standing before her mirror, the necklace gleamed on her neck like a crown. "Perfect," she whispered, snapping a photo for her Insta. Likes poured in, but something felt off. That night, as she attended a high-profile party at the Enclave, her world seemed a little less bright. The champagne flowed, but her laughter was hollow. The necklace felt heavier, almost suffocating, as if it had a mind of its own. She adjusted it in the bathroom, and a cold shiver ran down her spine, making her stomach churn. The air wasn't cold, but something wasn't right. "Am I losing it?" she muttered, but she shook it off. "They're just jealous." She returned to the party, pushing the unease aside. Yet, the room felt smaller. People who once adored her now seemed distant, indifferent. When she reached for her phone to snap a pic, her hand trembled. The necklace's weight was unbearable. The next morning, a message from Chloe, her best friend, interrupted her spiraling thoughts. "You left your purse at the club. The necklace was in it. Are you sure it's safe?" Sokima brushed it off, laughing at her friend's concern. But as she looked at the necklace, she noticed something unsettling. The stones seemed to shimmer unnaturally. A sharp pain shot through her chest, followed by a wave of dizziness. She clutched the necklace, but it did nothing. Later, at dinner with friends, everything seemed wrong. The food didn't taste the same. The lobster was bland. Her phone buzzed, but the notifications from her followers were slipping in slowly, but steadily. A cold sweat formed on her forehead. "What's happening?" she muttered, reaching for the necklace again. This time, her hands shook uncontrollably. That night, the first true sign of the curse showed itself. She woke to find her Instagram account hacked, her followers vanishing. Brand partnerships she had fought so hard for began to cancel without warning. The perfect image she had carefully built was crumbling. By the end of the week, Sokima knew something was terribly wrong. It wasn't just her reputation or her fame, it was her very identity. She had built everything on a foundation of wealth and perfection, but now the cracks were showing. Sitting on her penthouse balcony, Sokima looked out at the city she had conquered, but now it seemed empty. The lights that once symbolized success now mocked her. The necklace, code around her neck, was the symbol of her downfall, and she finally understood. The warning had come too late. "I should have listened," she whispered into the night. The necklace glimmered, indifferent to her pain. Sokima woke up with a pounding headache, the remnants of last night's party still lingering in her mind. Her phone buzzed relentlessly beside her, but she couldn't bring herself to check it. Every time she thought of the necklace, her chest tightened, like it was tethering her to something dark. "Get it together," she muttered to herself. But the weight of the necklace around her neck felt heavier today, its presence suffocating. The pain in her chest hadn't gone away, it was still there, throbbing. "It's just a necklace," she whispered, trying to shake off the feeling. But the more she stared at her reflection, the more it felt like the necklace was slowly consuming her, an anchor she couldn't escape. The doorbell rang, snapping her from her thoughts. It was Chloe, holding a latte with a forced smile. "Girl, you good?" Chloe asked, handing her the coffee. "Big event tonight at the Lux. You coming?" Sokima barely smiled, feeling the weight of Chloe's eyes on her. Her best friend's tone was different, the hint of concern not lost on her. "Yeah, sure," Sokima replied, but the words felt hollow. "What's going on with you?" Chloe hesitated, her gaze flickering to the necklace around Sokima's neck. "You're still wearing that thing?" "I don't know, it just feels wrong. Like it's got a weird energy about it." Sokima laughed it off, but there was no confidence behind it. "You're just being dramatic," she said, touching the necklace reflexively. But even as she spoke, her fingers trembled. The day dragged on. Sokima's phone was alive with messages, but they weren't the kind of notifications she wanted. Her followers were slipping by hundreds, not just a few. Brands were starting to question her image. And the necklace felt heavier still, pressing against her skin as if to remind her of everything she was losing. At the Lux, she tried to shake off the feeling of dread that clung to her. The club's lights were blinding, the music thumping in her chest, but none of it made her feel alive anymore. The crowd was the same, flashy, beautiful people, but they felt like strangers. She couldn't escape the sensation that she no longer belonged in this world. That's when she saw him again. The man from the enclave, the one who had warned her. He stood in the corner, his eyes locked on hers, as though waiting for something to happen. Sokima's heart raced. "Not now," she muttered under her breath, turning away. But the man's voice cut through the chaos of the club. "It's already inside you, Sokima." "The curse," he said, his words sharp and cold. Sokima froze, her body tensing. "What do you want from me?" she demanded, her voice shaky despite her attempt to sound strong. He took a step closer, his gaze unwavering. "You can't outrun it. The more you take, the more it will cost you." Her breath hitched. Was this some kind of sick joke? She backed away, but the man's presence lingered, pulling her in with every step. It seemed to close in on her, the noise fading into a distant hum. Everything she had worked for, everything she had chased, was unraveling. Desperate to escape, she made her way to the bathroom. The fluorescent lights flickered as she stared at herself in the mirror. The necklace was no longer a symbol of power. It was a curse, pulling her deeper into something she couldn't control. A sharp pain sliced through her chest. She gasped, clutching the sink as the world around her blurred. The man's words echoed in her head, louder than the pain. The more you take, the more it will cost you. She could barely stand, but somehow, she managed to steady herself. She splashed cold water on her face, the chill only heightening the sense of doom that loomed over her. When she returned to the main room, her phone buzzed again. Another message from one of her brand partners. We are pulling back from the collaboration. Your image no longer aligns with our values. The words were like a slap to her face. No. This couldn't be happening. Sokima felt the weight of everything she had built slipping away. The people, the fame, the luxury, all of it seemed so far away now. The necklace, once her crown, now felt like a shackle, dragging her into an abyss. The woman staring back at her was no longer the confident, untouchable queen of the social scene. She looked lost, broken. But she had to keep up appearances. She had no choice. She threw on her favorite outfit, one she knew would make a statement, and left for the day. The usual faces, followers, influencers, businessmen, greeted her, but there was something different in their eyes. The smiles were colder, less genuine. They didn't look at her the way they used to, like she was the center of their universe. Now, it was as if she were a passing stranger. Then came the twist that shattered everything. A sudden, loud crash echoed through the club. People screamed, scattering in all directions. Sokima froze, her heart pounding in her chest. She turned around, and in the chaos, she saw it, a shadowy figure, a man in a dark suit, walking calmly toward her. It was him again, the man from the enclave. Before she could react, the lights flickered and went out, plunging the club into darkness. Panic spread, people screamed, but the man didn't flinch. He was unbothered, moving through the crowd like a predator. You really thought you could outrun it? His voice echoed in the silence, sending a chill down her spine. Sokima's breath hitched as he got closer. What do you want from me? She shouted, her voice shaking, but the man didn't answer. Instead, his gaze never left her. And then it happened. The necklace around her neck flared with a blinding light. Sokima gasped, feeling a sharp jolt of energy surge through her. The crowd fell silent. In that moment, she felt everything, every emotion, every desire, every secret, rushing into her all at once. The wealth, the fame, the constant validation, it all became too much to handle. The man didn't move. He watched her struggle as if he had been waiting for this moment. It's not the necklace you need to worry about, he said softly. It's what it awakened inside of you. The lights flickered back on, but it wasn't the same. The club, once alive with music and laughter, now felt cold, oppressive. Sokima could feel her chest tightening, her breath coming in shallow gasps. The necklace was burning her. I can't breathe, she whispered, clutching at her chest, but it was no use. The weight of her desires, of her quest for perfection, was crushing her from the inside out. And then the unthinkable happened. Sokima, still reeling from the pain, glanced at the screen. It was a video, her video. One from a few nights ago at the enclave. But something was off. The video had been edited, her words distorted, her face twisted in anguish. The comments were ruthless, she's falling apart, her reign is over, the curse has come for her. Her followers had turned on her, the very people she had worked so hard to impress, now feeding on her downfall. This is your cost, the man said, his voice laced with finality. You wanted it all, Sokima. And now, the price is being paid. The curse has claimed you. Sokima stumbled back, her mind reeling. Everything she had worked for, everything she had built, was slipping through her fingers. The necklace wasn't just a symbol of wealth and status, it had become a mirror, reflecting the emptiness inside her. The more she had sought to fill that void, the deeper it had become. She looked at the man one last time, and with a whisper of resolve, she said, "I won't let it consume me." But deep down, Sokima knew the truth. The curse had already taken root. And there was no turning back. She stood at her balcony, staring at the city skyline, the same view that once made her feel invincible. Now, it felt like a prison. The lights glittered below, but they no longer held any magic. She wasn't in control anymore. The power she thought she had was slipping through her fingers, like sand in the wind. Her phone buzzed once more. It was from Chloe. "Sokima, I know you're going through something, but you need to talk to me. You've been distant, and I'm worried about you. Everyone's noticing." She didn't respond. She couldn't. What was there to say? How could she explain the fear gnawing at her, the coldness that had taken over her world? The curse wasn't just on the necklace, it had become her life. Later that night, she found herself back at the Lux, once again surrounded by the flashing lights, the music, the crowds of people who used to worship her every move. But this time, it felt like she was trapped in a nightmare. And then, it happened. The man in the dark suit appeared again. But this time, he wasn't alone. Standing beside him was someone Sokima never expected to see again, her estranged mother, the one person she had pushed away for years in her pursuit of wealth and status. The woman who had always told her that true happiness didn't come from material things, the woman she had dismissed as old-fashioned and out of touch. Her mother's eyes were filled with concern, but also something else, something deeper, more knowing. "Mom," Sokima whispered, her heart racing. "What are you doing here?" Her mother smiled softly, but there was sadness in her eyes. "I'm here because you need to understand something, Sokima. The necklace you wear, it's not just an object. It's a reflection of your soul. And right now, it's consuming you." Sokima felt the world around her go cold. Her mother's words felt like a slap in the face, a truth she hadn't wanted to hear. She had spent years running from the person she used to be, from the love and values her mother had instilled in her. But now, the consequences were clear. The man in the dark suit stepped forward. "You've crossed a line, Sokima. The necklace was never meant for someone like you. It was meant for those who understand the cost of wealth and power. You've ignored its warnings, and now it's claiming what's left." Sokima's heart pounded. She wanted to scream, to deny everything. But she couldn't. The pain in her chest was a constant reminder that she had no escape. The world was slipping away, and all she had left was the necklace, a symbol of her greed, her obsession, and the life she had lost. Her mother reached out, touching her arm gently. "You don't need to keep running, my love. You have everything inside of you already. You don't need the necklace to be who you are." But Sokima couldn't hear her. The necklace was too powerful, its hold too strong. Her world had become a twisted reflection of the life she once dreamed of, and now she was trapped in it, unable to break free. "I don't know how to fix this," she whispered, tears welling in her eyes. Her mother's gaze softened. "It's never too late to choose a different path." But as Sokima looked down at the necklace, she knew the truth. The cost of her desires had already been paid. And it might be too late to reclaim what she had lost. To chase perfection, the deeper the hole inside her had become. The necklace wasn't just a piece of jewelry anymore, it was a reflection of the darkness she had let consume her. Her mother's words echoed in her mind, "You don't need the necklace to be who you are." But how could she go back? How could she turn away from everything she had worked so hard for? Sokima looked out over the city. The skyline seemed just as empty as she felt. She had it all, yet it meant nothing now. Everything she had been, every version of herself that the world admired, was slipping away. Chloe didn't wait for an invitation. She stepped inside and immediately grabbed Sokima's hands, looking into her eyes. "You're not okay, and I can see it. This isn't you. I know it's hard, but you don't have to go through this alone." Sokima tried to pull away, but Chloe held her firmly. "You've been running for so long, Sokima. Running from yourself. From your past. From the love you've always had right in front of you." "Chloe, you don't understand," Sokima said, her voice breaking. "I've lost everything. The necklace, it's the only thing that's been constant. It's all I have left." Chloe shook her head. "That necklace isn't you. You've been looking for validation in the wrong places. You thought that by wearing it, by becoming the person everyone admired, you could feel the emptiness inside. But all it's done is drag you down. And now you need to let go." Sokima's breath caught in her throat. Her chest tightened as the weight of Chloe's words hit her. She wanted to scream, to deny it, but she knew deep down that Chloe was right. The necklace had consumed her. It had taken her identity, her soul, piece by piece. And now she was just empty. Tears welled up in her eyes as she glanced down at the necklace. For the first time, she saw it for what it truly was, a symbol of her greed, her insecurity, and her need for validation. It was never about the necklace. It was about the emptiness she had been trying to fill. "I don't know who I am without it," Sokima whispered, her voice barely audible. "You are more than the image you've built, Sokima," Chloe said softly, her eyes full of compassion. "You've always been more. But you need to let go of the things that are destroying you." The necklace felt heavier now, suffocating her. With trembling hands, Sokima reached for the chain and pulled it from her neck. The moment it was gone, the room seemed to breathe again. The weight, the constant ache, the feeling of being trapped, it all began to fade. For the first time in months, Sokima felt a sense of freedom. The pain in her chest lingered, but it was different now. It was no longer the searing agony of losing everything, it was the raw, unfiltered feeling of realizing what truly mattered. Her own peace, her own self-worth. And maybe, just maybe, she could start to rebuild. Chloe smiled gently, holding Sokima's hands. "You've already taken the first step. Now, let's take the next one together." Sokima looked down at the necklace in her hands, now just a cold, lifeless object. She felt the weight of it in her palm, but it was no longer a symbol of who she was. It was just a thing. And with that realization, Sokima knew she was finally free. As she turned toward the window, the city skyline once again shimmered in the distance. But this time, it wasn't empty. It was full of possibilities. Full of new beginnings. For the first time in a long time, Sokima smiled, real, genuine, unguarded. She was finally starting to find herself again. Moral lesson: true wealth doesn't come from external validation or material possessions. It comes from within. The pursuit of perfection for the sake of status will only leave you empty. Real power lies in embracing who you truly are and letting go of what holds you back. True wealth isn't found in the things we possess or the image we project. It's found in self-awareness, peace, and the courage to break free from the pursuit of perfection. The more we chase after material wealth and the illusion of perfection, the more we lose ourselves in the process. What we desire most can often become the very thing that destroys us. Greed and the pursuit of material wealth come with an invisible price, one that slowly consumes you from the inside out. What you desire most may be the very thing that destroys you. Greed is a slow poison. It lures you with promises of wealth, beauty, and status, but it comes at a cost. The more you desire, the more it will take, and in the end, the only thing left might be emptiness. Greed and the pursuit of wealth for the sake of status come with an unseen cost. No amount of material riches can buy peace, happiness, or authenticity. In the end, it's our self-worth, not our possessions, that defines us.